Hey garden friends, welcome back to the greenhouse. Let me get you straight here. Just a touch. Okay, today we are going to take some rose cuttings. Yes, it is almost January and my roses are still pliable, and they're actually, because it's been so warm, let me see if you can see this, they're actually trying, see if that'll focus, trying to put on new growth. The good side to that is I can take cuttings right now. The downside is if all of a sudden we got a hard freeze, it would kill back my early blooms of my roses. So it's a catch-22. Yeah, so these ones, let me see, one was my Grandpa Newt rose. That's this one. I cut it at an angle at the bottom so I remember which one was which. And this is one that a rose, it's a beautiful red rose that grew beside my grandparents' well house. When they were not able to live there anymore, we had to sell it. And this rose was a rose from childhood that my grandfather, I knew, absolutely loved. He would sit on the back porch and just praise this rose all the time. So I knew they loved it, and I wanted to make sure I took that rose home. Now, my husband broke 2 shovels trying to get it up. It had such a huge root mass, and it was so deeply rooted. Yeah, so, but I have it. I have it. It's in a spot. It's not thriving there, but the conditions, or the growing conditions where it was at in my grandparents' yard or garden, was much different than mine. They lived in a zone 9B, and so yeah, it had much longer growing time and warmer weather. So that could be why it struggles where I have it, and or maybe I need a new spot for it. So I'm going to try to take cuttings and root them so that I can plant it in other spots and see if it'll do better there. And just having a backup plant is awesome too. So here is what I'm going to do. Let's start with the rose cuttings. Now, as I said, I can take the rose cuttings. I'm going to do them in one of these containers. That way I can get a lot in here. So I have 2 different roses, and I will do 4 of each, 4 cuttings. I have plenty of material here. The only thing, I got these are Burpee seed starting containers, and I love the silicone on the bottom. So when you go to transplant them, you just push that up, pushes the plant out. I probably should turn the sound off of this. And then these are really easy then to reuse. Now, someone asked me on how I sanitize my containers after I have used them. So these were put in my kitchen sink. I ran hot water. I probably filled the sink halfway up where I could get everything in there with hot water, and then I poured probably a 1/4 cup of bleach, Clorox bleach, and let them sit. Oh, I'm sorry. I let them sit for half an hour, and at least half an hour, if not longer. Sometimes I walk away and I, come back later. And then I scrub them out. In fact, I think I did video. I did do video, so I'll put that here. I scrubbed them with a brush. I got this brush at Dollar General. It was a couple bucks. And scrub all the extra dirt out of them. And then I rinse them off with more hot water, let them dry. And I do that with all my containers, even my 4-inch pots. That is how I sanitize them. If you are sensitive to chlorine bleach, you can use hydrogen peroxide. That can be used too. That I would use straight, meaning I would scrub them up, hot soap and water. Then I would spray it with a spray bottle with the peroxide in it, and then I would then let it dry. I would let the peroxide dry on it, and that should take care of any bacteria or germs. So first I need to fill this up. Now, a lot of people will say to pre-moisten your mix. I don't do that when you're doing seed starting. Even seed starting mix, I won't do that. It makes it harder to get it into the containers. And you know what? When you're done filling it up with the soil, especially seed starting mix, after I have filled it with seed starting mix or potting soil, I will fill this with water, not fill it, but put enough water in it, let it sit, and let it draw the water up. Then you do not need to pre-moisten your seed starting mix or your potting soil, and it will pull up enough water. And if you're afraid the top, like if you've sown seeds and they sit on top and you don't think it's gotten moist, just spritz it with some water. But yeah, it can be really tough to get wet soil. Now this is pretty wet already because it's been sitting out. It's winter. Then I just put it on in there. But if this was drier, it would go in even easier. Now, some people, seed starting mix can be a real pain to pre-moisten. So that is especially what I just go ahead and fill it and then let it, before I even put seeds in it, I will let it sit for a day in a tub of water, and then it moistens all of it without it, being a big old hassle. Okay, now I am not pushing this in here. I am just scraping it on there, scraping a bit back off if it's too full, and just going over top and firming, not pushing, just running my hand along there. Now I want to get it off the dividers here, so I know where those are at, so I'm just doing that. And I'll put that back down there. So this is not for seed starting. This is for my cuttings of roses. And I wanted the little bit bigger ones because the roses will need more root room. I love these for seed starting because you can get a lot in this little container. And these come with these little trays that they sit in, which is wonderful. So, okay, let me get my rooting hormone out. Hormex, what is this, 8? Hormex 8 is the one I usually use for roses because it's a little bit stronger. You could use the regular one, which I think is a 1 or a 3. But so that's just how I do it. The 1 will work. I should try half of them with the 1 and half without and then see how they turn out. But I'm in a hurry today. Kind of in a hurry. All right. So this is my Eden rose. I had taken some cuttings earlier in the season, and I killed them. It was totally me. I was thinking they were drying out. I was like, oh no, this terracotta pot's not working, blah, blah, blah. So I poured extra water in there, and I totally rotted them. All right, so here we go with these cuttings. Now, you want to take a cutting beneath a leaf node and above a leaf node. So down here, it would be hard for you to tell what a leaf node is, but I can see there's a little growth there, and there's one there. So, and here's a mark here. Hopefully that's zooming in on you. So I could do that one, but to make it easier, if you really want to know, like here, this has leaves on it. These ones I had pulled off, but you see these little marks here? Little marks on there? That is a leaf node. So cut above a leaf node and then cut below. Now I have read that these little junctures here root faster. This is where another limb came out. I don't know for sure. Now some people will say that scoring it or scraping it will give you better rooting, but it's also a better chance of rot coming in. So you decide. Some people actually, they just take a hammer and smash them. But again, that will aid in rot too if you're afraid of that. So okay, there was a leaf node there. And then right up here was a leaf node. See right here? There's one right here. But I want to do it up here. Now I cut it at an angle. And I'm going to dip it in the hormone. Normally, I dip this into something else. Oh, that's a brand new bottle. Huh? Let me just open it. Now these do have a shelf life. So I was going to go ahead and dip right in it, but my training just won't let me. Okay, so, this is my old bottle, which is probably pretty useless. In fact, it's discolored, so it's probably telling me that it's not viable anymore. So I'm going to pour this out. Now, these are not too expensive. I've had this a couple years. As I said, the potency wears out. I'm going to pour this out. Now, why I did that. I'm going to pour the some in here and use this one as my dipping bottle. Now I've got enough in there to dip in, and now I'm going to put this away. Now you don't want, I will not put this back in there because when you're dipping, you may introduce pathogens, and that's not good. I have water over here in this tub. I'm just going to put in there so I make sure I get plenty. And I have some on here. I will just push it down in here. Don't worry, people say, oh, you're going to rub it all off. You will not rub every bit of that off. So I'm going to put it here. I was going to put them in the rows. These are numbered. I have it numbered. And then I'll write them down which ones I put where. So now the only thing that I don't like about these trays is they don't have a cover. So I'm going to have to use a different thing to create a humidity dome. So again, this one right here, leaf node, I'll cut right beneath that and then right above this one. Or I could do like the other one, do right above this one. Okay. I will cut that at an angle. Gives a little more space there. Let me see, dip it in water. You do not have to dip it in water. But it makes it stick a little more. And then I'll put it down in this one. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Put it down in that one. And firm it in. Now I don't push hard. I don't want it smooshed in there. Okay, so last two. Now these ones don't have a lot of nodes really close together. Again, I'm going to cut right beneath this root node or leaf node. I'll get it right one of these times. Now you do not need leaves for them to root. So I have been going one leaf node, two leaf node, right above the third. You can do it right above the second. You don't have to do the third. Now these are not going to stay out here. These are going to go in on my light shelf, and I may put some bottom heat on them, but our house stays pretty warm, so I would only turn that on at night because you don't want it too warm. So I'm cutting off the top. I'm going to cut right below this leaf node and then go up to leaf nodes again. And there, I have the 3 leaf nodes on there. Cut this at an angle. And I can just hope I'm going to get roses to root. Alrighty, so there are my, these ones are my Eden. So this one's the hard part, the harder part. So I will go ahead and try it. This one is more of a, see, it's very stiff. So this is a hardwood cutting. I don't know what it will do because it's usually the green soft pliable ones that I work with. And these harder cuttings, let me see, there's a leaf node, and there's a leaf node. There's one, okay, there's one right down here. Alrighty, that's pretty hard. 1, 2, I'll go right above that one. Now this one I only had 2 leaf nodes. I'll scrape off these thorns because those little spots may root too. And I'll put that in there. Okay. I don't know if I'll get a full 8 cuttings. I can go get some more material if I need to. Okay, that's this way. Alrighty. Pull off these thorns. That one, the leaf node was pretty close there. So, and there's another one right there. So I'll cut that one. Yep, that's going to be it. I'm not going to get any more cuttings off that one. I don't think I have enough material there. Let's see. Goodness, it's sticking. Okay. Let's see, is there? Nope. only one leaf node. Toast. That one's toast. Okay, I'm going to hurry through these as well. And I'm just going to speed this up and let you watch. So I completed my cuttings, my tray of cuttings. Now I went out and grabbed a couple of different roses because I had some empty spots. This one was one of my climbers, a vintage climber, and then these ones were an off-patent David Austin rose. So we're going to see how those will work too. And I marked them. I marked the ones that were a little bit different because I know these were my Edens and those were my Grandpa Newt. Well, I'll look back and make sure I'm right on that. So, and these ones that there were the climber, they're a little bit thornier, so I really can tell the difference. I shouldn't say a little bit, they're a lot thornier than my others. So we will take these inside, put them on the light rack where it's warm, and we'll put a humidity dome on top of them. I haven't quite figured out yet what that's going to be, but we'll go do that after I've brainstormed for a minute. So I hope you enjoyed this little rose cutting foray. Yeah, you only need the 2 leaf nodes to go ahead and get them started, and you don't need big tall canes. A lot of times I do the taller ones. They say have 6 inches or whatever, but it isn't necessary, and you might be surprised at how well they do. I surely hope that they take and they don't rot before then or come down, have a fungus attack them. Now, a lot of times when I'm taking cuttings, I will soak them in a peroxide water solution, maybe 1/4 peroxide, 3/4 water solution, and make sure it kind of kills off anything. But I didn't do that today. I didn't take the time. I'm going to risk it. I will probably see a 50% fail rate, but that I'm okay with that. I don't need 16 new roses. So 50%, I would get 8 roses. Hopefully they'll be the ones I want. Anyways, so that's done there. We'll take them on in and find a dome for them. Okay, I said I'd show you when I brought them in and put them on the light rack. And here I decided to go with using this water jug that I had started for outdoor starting for the winter sowing, but I thought these would make perfect humidity domes for this. Now I have another bottle that I need to cut. I just put this on it in the interim until I get that done, but it has air holes and it fits fairly well on top. So I'll put the other one over here and have the humidity dome. And I'm not sure if these are too bright of lights or what, because one thing that can cause them to rot is too bright of light. So I can move them to the very bottom shelf that the light isn't on, but it's catching the light from all these others. So that's just something I guess I'll learn if that is too bright, or I'll look up more information on it. But in the interim, this will hold humidity in until I can get that treated and put on here, cut open and put on here. So there you have it, my rose cuttings in December, late December, brought in on my light rack. I think they will be warm enough in here, even at night, when it cools down, because our house never gets that cold. I think it gets down to 68 at night at the least. And so I think they will be fine without a heat mat. Now, if it was colder, I would put a heat mat underneath them and keep the roots warmer. But I hope you enjoyed taking rose cuttings with me today on this late December day. By, let me see, a couple days, it'll be January 1st. This is highly unusual. Usually we're buried in snow, and or it's been cold enough that they have gone too dormant to do the semi-hardwood cuttings. These were semi-hardwood. A couple of them were hardwood, and I showed you that. But that's the way it flies. So this winter's been strange, and I'm going to take advantage of it. I showed, maybe I'll put a little clip of it, a rose that is budding, just crazy budding. I don't know if it'll actually open up, but for this time of year, that's just amazing. they should be dormant. So hopefully I won't get a hard freeze and kill everything off, but that could happen too. Alrighty, I'll see you in my next video where I'm going to be winter sowing some echinacea seeds. See you then. Bye.